Good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome inside the Grand Harvey Center as we are moments away from puck drop between the third place Moncton Rocket and the first place Lindsay Surge. As we are underway, Eisner and Ward on the opening draw. That'll be a delayed icing call here to start off the game, and the first whistle. We'll give a quick break here to introduce the starting goaltenders. Starting in between the pipes for the Rocket, wearing number 31. You see a nice little shot of her there. Is number 31, Claire Fournette. She's got a 13-1 record, a 1.73 goals against average, and a 920 save percentage. 200 feet from her between the red cage is number 1, Eleanor Feltham. Coming into this game, she's got a 10-2 record, a 1.32 GAA, and a 952 save percentage. As these teams sit near the top of the leaderboard, only a couple points separating all three of the top leaders between these two squads, and then the selects as well. Between 1, 2, and 3, there's only a 3 or 4 point gap here. Well, here's an example. The Rockets in third have 51 points, and the Surge in first have 52, so a 1 point differential in a big game here. The Surge coming in 26-3 on the year. The Rocket 25-3 on the season. So this is a big matchup here for these two squads. Last game of the showcase tournament here in Fredericton for these two teams, is both teams having a pretty solid weekend here so far, as that'll be cycled down low and behind their own net there. The Surge looking to get things out of their own zone. As the Rocket, though, control. Up the point, it's worked across here for Poirier. She goes cross-grain, doesn't connect. As out comes the Surge, just outside the blue line, where Daniel now has it over the blue line. Loses the handle on it and gets chipped back here. Arsenault will chip it in. Daniel with a couple toe drags to the middle. Annabelle Daniel waiting for someone to open up. There's Poirier. Lets a shot go, and it's steered in behind the goal line by Feltham. Feltham only allowing 16 goals so far here this year in 12 games played. That shot, pad save once again. Feltham up for the task. As it gets pushed back here in the neutral zone, Fitzpatrick, who had a goal earlier, will work it for Boutlier, who takes a shot in off the body of Tran, who now has it behind her own net. She'll reverse it. Good read, though, there by Colpitts to get to it. Now it's a battle on the end wall. Kim and Tran out there trying to work it out for the defenseman. As it's worked up, here's Leckie through the neutral zone. Chloe Leckie will get center and dump it in. She had a solid game last night. It's the Energizer Bunny for the Lindsay Surge, as it's worked here through the neutral zone by Boutlier, who's had a great weekend. She has 3 goals in 2 games in the tournament. I think 3-3 now here for the number 2 wearing defenseman for the Rocket, as that shot on Fournette is held on to. No whistle, or sorry, whistle. No rebound. Still nothing the score. Shots 2-1 in favor of the Rocket, as Arsenault has it behind her own net. She'll wheel it up and pass it over for Savoie. Trying to center, goes off a skate. Arsenault follows it up, ahead for Ward. Ward coming into this game, sitting 4th amongst leaders in assist. Here she's got 37 points, 15 goals, and 22 assists. 22 assists, good enough for 4th place amongst the leaderboard here, amongst the whole entire league. There's a good forecheck there by the Surge to turn it over. Inside the blue line, that's chipped in. Gibbs will go chase, gets to it, has someone driving back door. A centering play there is a good job by Robertson to drive back door. Robertson coming into this game also having some pretty impressive stats for the Lindsay Surge. She's 2nd amongst the league in goals. She's got 27 on the year, an impressive line for her. She's had a pretty solid start to the season, 27 goals. Here's a chance for Daniel in alone. Annabelle Daniel to her backhand kick, at the shot away, and a good little poke check there by Feltham. The Surge looking to get things going back up north here, but here's Daniel back up. She'll feed McFadden across the blue line. McFadden wide shot there, that goes high. Past the blocker. Over here on the far side, that's Fitzpatrick who holds it in momentarily though, as that'll be picked up here. McCormick over the blue line. Robertson finds a trailer. Here's a chance and a shot and a goal. A quick strike there. What a passing play between Robertson, McCormick, and the goal scorer, Reese Vautour, and the Surge lead by 1. The JW Lindsay Surge strike on a quick 3-on-2 opportunity as Vautour trailed him behind. Robertson found her. A great 3-on-2 entry there between Robertson and McCormick. Set up the trailer perfectly in Vautour, who made no mistake with that one and ripped it past the glove of Fournette. And the Surge off to a 1-0 lead here in Fredericton as they look to maintain first place as the Rocket right on their tail. And I know with the win earlier by the Selects, they also are in the fight as they just knocked off the Flames here in the Flames home barn in Fredericton. The Flames, the host of the winter showcase here inside the Grant Harvey Center. Boutlier working it up past Robertson as goes back into the neutral zone. Played ahead, Cormier finds Rodier through the neutral zone. Rodier will chip and chase into the zone. She's pressured there by Gibbs. As Rodier goes down, Gibbs will gather the puck and push it over to the far side wall, where it's carried out here by Poirier. Up over the line, here's Buffett down the wall. She'll chip and chase over to the far corner, where she has it now, up the half wall, off her skate. And that'll be picked up here by Plourde through the neutral zone. Lily Plourde will dump it in with one hand as Richard will give chase. Rossong gets pinched off there, will leave the puck, which is played around to the far side point where Plourde covered for Arsenault, who had jumped up in the play. Surge 1-0 lead the Rocket with some offensive zone time. Now here's the captain. We'll leave it for Ward. Lauren Ward walking over top. She'll drop it back off here for Arsenault. Now Poirier has it. She'll walk back to the middle. Poirier over top of the dots. Lets a shot go into the corner. Off the blocked shot there as Poirier cycles down low for Richard. As Ward is going to go in and help her out. They work it back here for Arsenault. That's cycled back down, but read perfectly and worked out here by Gould. Gould will work it up the far side for Poirier, who tried to dump it in, but just inside the line. And back out, here's Richards. Marissa Richard will dump that in off the end wall. Tran gathers it behind the net. She'll reverse it to the far side, where Fitzpatrick couldn't hold the line. She'll work it back into the neutral zone. Tried to center. Off a skate and right back here. Annabelle Daniel looking to get back in the offensive zone. She had the best chance so far for the Rocket. As here's Lecky. As mentioned, the Energizer Bunny, you see why. She picked up that puck and got her feet moving up north pretty quick. And now in on the forecheck. It's worked past her, but Savoie turns it over to Eisner, who turns it right back over. Here's Savoie back into the neutral zone. Savoie, great job protecting the puck. She'll work it over here for Daniel, who finds McFadden, and she tucks it home, and we're tied at 1. Two spectacular goals here in the game, but that was a beautiful pass from Annabelle Daniels, and she'll add on to her point total. She currently sits second among points, third in assist, and fourth in goals, so that'll help her out. She's up to 50 points on the year with that assist, and Annabelle Daniel found McFadden, who went forehand to backhand and slid it along the ice past the blocker side pad of the goaltender Feltham, and we are all knotted up here at 1. We knew this was going to happen. A close game for sure between these two squads as they're fighting to stay up in the amongst the leaderboard as the Capitals, the Greenfoot Capitals, who sit in 4th place, are trying to catch up to these two teams and the Selects as well. As it gets dumped in here, Fournette will leave it for Cormier. Worked up the wall, almost turned over. Now back into the neutral zone. Robertson controls it, chipping it up. Fitzpatrick stepped up there on the far side and That'll be sent back here for Arsenault. Rod, your nice little touch there with the support from Colpitts. Up ahead, couldn't connect cleanly with Elaine. That's sent down low. Nedelku reverses for Rossung. Rossung looking up the wall. She'll chip it up and into the neutral zone where Poirier will work it D to D here for Fitzpatrick. Centers for Ward, but in behind her. Got a stick on it, but not enough to control it. As that puck now into the feet over on the far side. Trying to work it out was London. She does, but can't keep control here through the feet of Marissa Richard. She was looking in behind her. Didn't see it. The puck coming towards her. So is that now in by the Rocket? Tip there. Richard tipped it just wide. Here's Tran down low. Pressured by Richard, who will kick it over for Plourde. Down low, Lily Plourde. Pressured on the end wall. We'll try to work it up to the defenseman. Poirier, who gets a shot and a glove save by Feltham, will hold on for the whistle. That puck worked across here by Poirier. That shot tipped high and a glove save once again by Feltham. Face off now to the blocker hand side. In the feet there, still loose, and it's picked up and worked out by McCormick, who has the secondary assist, as that'll be Sangsters trying to hold the line as it goes off of her. And back the other way, here comes Daniel to center, dump and chase. Annabelle Daniel will pressure Delcu, who will put it up the wall for London. Pressure by McFadden, the goal scorer for the Rocket. Boutlier, cross for Cormier into the neutral zone. They'll regroup. That pass for Daniel. She'll work that puck in, down into the corner. Culligan water sign there as it gets played around. Oh no, that goes off the skate and it's still there. Puck looking, trying to work it out here. Nedelku grabs a loose puck and she'll chip it off the glass. Past Boutlier. Not enough draw on it for the icing as Cormier looking up ahead. Robertson off the bench intercepts. Nevaeh Robertson cut shot, glove save. As that had a weird trajectory onto the glove of Fournette as it hit the defenseman's stick, and it kind of rainbowed in on Fournette, so she had to be sharp there not to allow it go over top of the glove and sneak its way back in behind her. Cormier trying to get it out, can't do so. That goes back down. Here's Cormier with it for Boutlier. Boutlier up the wall, intended for Savoie. She'll follow it up, try to get in deep and low. Boutlier just took a massive hit as she ran into the player that was Vautour. And we're going to get to see a power play here for the Rocket as a roughing call assessed to the goal scorer, Reese Vautour. So an opportunity now for the Rocket to try to take the lead. They come into this game, their power play currently sitting at 23% on the season, which is an impressive stat. They're looking for something maybe around 15 or something like that, but an impressive stat there, line for the power play for the Rockets, certainly at 23%. The Surge PK sitting at 86, so a solid number for both teams. Here's a chance backdoor for Richard. Couldn't get it past it up over the pad as that went off the pad of Feltham. Poirier lets a shot go. Pad saving the rebound right to Richard, and she scores. Marissa Richard off the rebound from the point shot from Poirier makes it 2-1 for the Rocket. Poirier fired up. She comes to the bench. She knows that was a big goal, and they all know the stakes here for this game. Closely after Christmas is next week. They lead into the Ice Jam in Bedford and Truro, as that'll be Poirier who will pick up the assist, the primary assist, as she let the shot go. And right there on the doorstep, Marissa Richard, that might be one of the easier goals she'll get, is that puck right onto her tape and into the back of the net. No chance for Robertson, who made the initial save to get over there and make the second one, and if she did, it would have been a miracle. As that's chipped up here is Cormier over the blue line. Cormier has it pinched off into her skates there by Kim, who pokes it up the wall. And now it'll be worked up here for Buffett. One-on-one. Buffett tried to cut to the middle on Fitzpatrick, who couldn't get around her stick. It's now to be sent in. Eisner will give pressure. Arsenault behind the net of Fournette will rim it around the wall. Off the bench, Joseph will chip it down low for Eisner. As Eisner comes into this game with the lead in assist. She sits first for the assist, and she sits third currently for points so far here this year. She's got 43 points on the year, 16 goals with 27 assists, and that 27 assists is the top of the league. So be a challenge for players to try to catch her here into the second half of the season as Savoie sends it in. Nedelku up the wall. McCormick gets a stick on it, but held in by Boutlier at the point. She'll rim it around the wall over to the short side. Now it's chipped up here. Trying to work it out was Leckie. As now it is Boutlier. Head pass there just in front of the blue line. Savoie had it poked off of her stick. Joseph will dump it in, and icing going to be charged here to the Surge. An offensive zone draw here with an extended shift for the Surge. We'll have the Rocket with a little bit of another opportunity. They lead by one now as they had an early deficit. They had a 1-0. They were down 1-0 very early into the game as we're over halfway through the first period, but 3 goals so far between these two teams. It's a good stick there. Gets it out into the neutral zone. Cormier at center. Dumps it right back in. Will force Gibbs to go get it. Gibbs, D-to-D for Tran, who will work it up the wall for Leckie, who finds McCormick's stick. As here's Maya McCormick through the neutral zone, trying to work it in. Good job on the second effort there to stick with it, to get it down. Arsenault has it now in behind the goal line. She'll stop up and look over her options. Looking for Rodyer. That'll go all the way down. And a delayed icing call. No, says the official, as Tran got to it before the goal line. Up here, trying to work it back. Leckie trying to work it up for Gould, who has it knocked away from her by Rodyer, who's now in on the forecheck. As Tran spins, trying to get it out, but Poirier has it at the point. Poirier picked up the assist. She'll walk down Main Street, let a shot go, and a blocker save by Feltham. Poirier pinched off on the wall. Loose puck picked up by Gould, up for Nedelku, who can't get it out there. Head to the sky there. She frustrated with herself as she wanted to get that puck out and maybe head off on a change. An extended shift here for number 14. Last game of the tournament for these young ladies is the Rocket now with some zone time. They lead the shot category 9-5. And a delayed call coming up here. We'll wait to see. A head contact call will be charged. We'll see to who. It's going to be Tran going to the box. Another power play upcoming here for the Rocket. So the Surge have only taken 180 penalty minutes compared to the 347 the Rocket have taken this year. But the Rocket now will head to another power play. Here still in the opening period, 7:37 remaining in the opening frame. Nedelku around to the far side for Buffett, trying to chip it up and get it out, but it's battled for now. Daniel to the point for Poirier. She'll walk it down low for Richard. Back for Daniel, who stops on that puck. Back for Poirier. Give and go. Poirier looking back door. Richard can't take the one-timer and get enough lumber on it as it goes wide. So that's the second time they've now looked for that play back door for Richard, and it's the way they scored their goal. I mean, it came off the shot, but Richard was playing it there back door and trying to pull out the defenders to separate the box there to get the lanes available through the middle of the ice. as that gets sent down into the neutral zone. So look for Poirier trying to find Richard. So she's looked over there twice now as the Surge clear it down. 1:15 remaining on the power play. Daniel has it behind her own net. She'll stop things up. Vautour at the ringette line. She'll start to back off as it's worked here. Poirier through the neutral zone, dropping it off for Annabelle Daniel, who will kick it wide for Lauren Ward. Dropping back, Daniel over top of the circle. She'll walk it down the far side. Back for Poirier at the point. Poirier will sling it across for Annabelle Daniel. Daniel stops it, works it back for Poirier, who will walk it down the wall. Poirier looking cross ice as try to spread out the defenders there. As here's a chance. Rodyer centered for Elaine, who was waiting back door, but was taken away by the defender for the Surge, and they clear it down. Bootlier will stop up and set out the breakout. That puck up to center. I guess not really to center, just outside the blue line, and Kim will send it back in. Bootlier now we'll work it here for McFadden. That one worked cleanly over the blue line. Pressure there. Good job not take a penalty as it's worked back here. Bootlier lets a shot go. Battles around as it hit a couple bodies on the way as Elaine seems to be a little bit shaken up there, as I think that puck might have hit her near the unprotected part of the back where the shoulder pads, and delayed call. Call from all the way outside of the zone. It's going to go slashing to Rodyer. 2 minutes for slashing. I didn't see it. It must have been down in behind the play. I was seeing what was going on as Zoe Elaine was heading off to the bench. Seems to be okay. So I think she got maybe a shot to the back of the, in between the shoulder blades maybe, or something like that, but she's on the bench now. She's all right. But the power play now for the Surge looks to get underway. The Surge coming in with a power play percentage of 27 here so far this year, as the penalty kill of the Rocket coming in with a crazy impressive stat of a 91% here so far this year. As that works towards the goalie, Fournette takes a little bit of a bump as the Surge trying to crash down and maybe get a little bit of a greasy goal, trying to bang one home net front. As it picked up, cut to the middle. McCormick dished wide here for Robertson. Robertson spinning away from one, looks middle. Vautour, the goal scorer for the Surge, has it down the far side. She looks for an option, she takes a shot, and it goes off the shin pad, and over here, cleared down by Colpitts, who heads off for a change. McFadden over the boards for her, as Rossong is pressured by Cormier. That's Melody Cormier, as Chanel Cormier, the defenseman. The two Cormiers for the Moncton squad. As it's worked up the far side and sent in by the Surge. Fournette stops it up. Poirier takes her time. She'll clear it right up the middle of the ice all the way down. Past McFadden. No icing will be called as 35 seconds remaining here on the power play for the Surge. As they've had to really get set up. They had an opportunity to get a goal, but nothing really set up quickly, but it was broken up and nothing coming off of the setup. As Leckie for Joseph. Back to the point. Here's Nedelku. Crossed. Tran for Nedelku. Lets a shot go. That's sent just wide past the glove. And now cleared down off the skate or stick of Tran. No icing. As that power play now is all over, as Rodyer out of the box, and that'll be chipped up into the neutral zone by Nedelku. Picked up though and worked in. Here's Cormier. That time it was Chanel Cormier, number 7 defenseman. And number 19 is Melody Cormier for the Rocket. In the corner, Daniel trying to work it out. Can't do so. Turned over there by Leckie, who will cycle it around for Tran. Up the wall, Joseph. Can't get it out. As great job there by Cormier to step in from the point to hold the wall and keep it down low. Now on the short side here, Buffett gets it out, but Ward controlling it in the neutral zone, works it back for Cormier. Cormier, long stretch pass up for Savoie, who elects to tip it in and get in on the forecheck. Annabelle Daniel is the first for the Rocket as McFadden now works it back to the point. Trying to work it off the half wall. Here's McFadden for Poirier. Back for Arsenault. Arsenault lets a shot go off the shin pad on the far side as the Surge look to break it out. That's Lacey Poirier. Here's a chance in front. There's an opportunity as Daniel tries to toe drag, and it's turned back. Here's Poirier through the neutral zone. Gets center and dumps it down in deep. Fournette out of her net. She'll stop it up there for McFadden, who reverses for Poirier. Poirier up the wall. Rossong stepping in, trying to hold it down low. As that back to the point, though. Sent in and off a stick and into the bench as Sangster tried to dump it back in deep. Face-off should go back inside, and yes, it will. Eisner, offensive zone draw. She'll face off against Colpitts. Colpitts will get tossed. Richard, the go-ahead goal getter for the Rocket, will win that draw back for her captain as the assistant captain, Richard, wins it for her captain. As here's Elaine, another assistant captain for the Rocket, has it knocked away from her. Back the other way, here's Eisner, pressuring Arsenault. Cormier picks that puck up and works it back here through the neutral zone. Poirier kicks it wide for Richard. Nice move to the backhand. Richard trying to work it to the forehand and get a shot away. Richard out in front. Can't connect as that was a good opportunity. As I was chipped up ahead there by Eisner, who peels off for the change as the Rocket work it right back here. Richard, drop pass. Colpitts walks to the middle. Dishes. Bootleer, one-timer blocked by Robertson. Great job by Nevaeh Robertson. Blocked that puck, so she's doing it on both ends of the ice, scoring-wise and defensively-wise. Is a nice little shot block there. She headed off for the change. McCormick down below the goal line. Now back to the point. That shot blocked on the way towards the net. Another shot blocked again. As that worked to Rogers, she'll chip it down. A little bit of a skate here, a foot race to it, and an icing. No, says the official, as that was waved off just after it crossed the line, as that's worked out. As a little bit of ping pong here. McCormick picked off the dump in attempt. London, far side, over skates it back the other way. Here comes Bootleer. Lola Bootleer. Skate to stick, lets a shot go in a pad save by Feltham. 10 seconds remaining here in the opening period. Puck sent around. London on the far side, chipping it up the wall and back into the neutral zone. One-on-one, here's Leckie, and as time expires, trying to beat Cormier wide, but that'll do it here for the opening 20. So after the first period, the Rockets lead by a score of 2-1 as they trailed at 1.1-0 as an early goal coming off the stick of Reese Fautour. She trailed in, and great pass by Robertson to find her. But the Rockets coming back with two of their own from Thea McFadden and Marissa Richard on the power play. We'll be back here for a second period of action after this short intermission. Welcome back here for the second period of play. It is a little bit of an entertaining start to the second. Zoya Lane coming out with tissue shoved in her nose. Must have had a nosebleed in between periods, but when she stepped on the ice, she had her skate guards on, so everyone knows how that goes. But she's on the bench. She joins her team for the start of the second period as a 2-1 lead for her squad coming into this second frame. As the Surge trying to work things over as it gets sent back out by Richard, who has the go-ahead goal for the Rocket on the power play on a rebound off the pad. As here's a chance, Richard, big save by Feltham. Eisner through the neutral zone, poked away from her, but sent in on the follow-up play there by Vautour. Held in, trying to push it back down low was Poirier as a nice feed here for Daniel, trying to go skate to stick as she'll spin it in. That gets sent around, up the wall, trying to work it up. Now it's into the neutral zone and back the other way. Here come the Surge. That nice pass through the middle. McCormick doesn't connect as the Rocket sending it back. Here's a chance. Daniel will leave it there for McFadden, who Daniel assisted the McFadden goal in the first period. That shot goes high and up over the net. Puck on the corner now. Surge looking to get things out of their zone, but the Rocket are very content to dump it back in behind and work from in behind the goal line. As that rim goes past Cormier and into the neutral zone, Boutelier covered for her. As here's a chance back, here come the Rocket. Boutelier over the line, lets a shot go, rebound. Daniel in the slot, backhand chance, Boutelier shot, that goes wide. Daniel keeps it in. Elaine out there after the bloody nose and falling with the skate guards on to start the second. We'll get right back into the action here in this period as it's worked up the wall by the captain Poirier, who stepped on a stick. Will draw a call as now into the neutral zone. Joseph touches and will head to the box for the trip. As she had her stick down near the feet and Poirier spun and stepped up to take a stride and landed right on that stick and went down. So a tripping call charged here as the power play for the Rockets look to add on here as they lead by 1. As it looks like it's going to be Gould out, Sangster in to take the draw. She'll win it. Kim around the far side for Rossong, who will try to clear, but it's held in by Ward. Lauren Ward walks down, looking back door. Here's Annabelle. That's a shot going. That goes off the blocker. And back here, now worked up for Daniel. Poirier for Annabelle Daniel. She'll walk it in, look back door off the skate of Gould. Daniel trying to work it back for Poirier, who gets over there to hold the line. Poirier switching with Ward for Daniel. Little touch pass there. That shot goes wide as that puck worked past Daniel and back into the neutral zone as she had stepped in, maybe trying to get towards the net as she was creeping in there. As here's Poirier, centers, Daniel, move to the outside. She'll work it down on her forehand. Annabelle Daniel, nice spin move there to avoid pressure. She'll spin it down into the corner. A nice cycle for Richard. Richard trying to work it back to the point. Poirier, that's work D to D for Ward. She'll let a shot go. It's blocked by Rossong. Ward to the point. Poirier finds Daniel. Daniel will walk it in, kick it back to the point for Poirier. She'll take a sec, walk down, let it pass go there down to Richard as she looked like she was going to wind a shot on and she spun it down looking for a stick as she'll peel off for the change and he gets dumped out. A new defenseman out now is Boutelier. She'll go back and set up here with half a minute or so remaining on the power play. Here come the Rocket out of their zone. Winger swinging on each side. Oh, I guess a winger and a defenseman. That was Fitzpatrick on this short side. As Nedelku, clearing attempt, gets knocked down by Fitzpatrick, who centers, and that goes offside. at the line as Thea McFadden just couldn't hold it in time. And an offside charge to the Rocket. 9 seconds remaining on the power play for them is 15:45 remaining in the game, or in the period. Second period of action here. Coming at you live on High Button Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Theo Iachu on the camera, Logan Crothers, bringing you all the live feed and commentary. As it's worked in, Colpitts trying to get it down in, but couldn't get enough on it. It goes down all the way. Nedelku will kill off the last 9 seconds of the penalty. Boutlier has the puck for Fitzpatrick, so the defenseman connecting there to break out. Now Elaine kicking it wide for McFadden. McFadden pressured there by McCormick. Turns it over as Tran also there pressuring, and now she'll turn it over. Centering pass, bobbled in front. McFadden couldn't come up with it as Nedelku out with the puck to the neutral zone. Worked in here by Joseph. Arsenault, D-to-D for Boutlier. Trying to chip it back in was McCormick. McFadden goes down. As that's sent in by Kim behind the net. As that was an attempt there by Lola Boutlier to put it off, bank it off the back of the net. As that reverse play off the end wall onto Fournette, and she'll hold on for the whistle. Looks like the face-off is going to go over to the glove hand side of Claire Fournette. As mentioned, Claire Fournette coming into this game with a 1.73 GAA and a 920 save percentage, so some good stats. Both goaltenders, incredible stats here so far this year. Fournette with only 1 loss, Feltham with only 2 losses on the year. Feltham GAA just a little bit lower, and the save percentage just a little bit higher, but still both really good goaltenders here on both ends of the ice. As 3 of the 4 goaltenders are in the top 2, and 3 out of the 4 goaltenders are in the top 3 for these 2 respective teams in save percentage and GAA statistic-wise. As that puck goes up into the bench, the face-off will go back just in front of the Rocket zone. Eisner will face off against Ward. As that'll be played around, trying to work it up and cycled back here, Poirier. Up through the neutral zone. Now working it back. Here comes Poirier. She's trying to avoid some pressure. Get it out of harm's way as she'll kick it wide to the far side. Back through the neutral zone. As the Surge look to break out, gotta be careful there as that puck worked up through the middle. Back in their own zone, Surge have some trouble there behind the goal line. Savoie creating havoc. It's back up to the point. Chanel Cormier holds it down and fires it. As the Surge now under a little bit of pressure. The Rocket with a good forecheck here. Turned over right outside the blue line, trying to get it down in deep. Tran working it back through the neutral zone. Savoie right back for Gibbs, who sends it in. As she peels off for a change, both defensemen for the Surge will switch off here as Rossong on. She'll dump it in. As Buffett lets the shot go and Fournette holds it on. No rebound there. Quick couple opportunities for Surge. Shots though 16-18 in favor of the Rocket. They lead by 1 here almost halfway through the second period. Back here comes Richard. She'll dump it in. Over to the far side. Bootlier walks the point. Kicks it for Fitzpatrick. Shot goes and blocker save. As out comes the surge. Tran pressured. Trying to center. Goes off a stick as Daniel in there trying to work it back over the blue line. Battled here up at center ice. Right worked in on Fournette. As now here come the Rocket back the other way. McFadden got a stick on it, but it was for a 4 center, so an icing charge will be called against the Rocket. Daniel trying to chip it out. So that'll be sent right back in by Joseph, only momentarily, as Daniel got it back out in the neutral zone. Joseph's going to have to tag up, an offside call there. Lola Bootlier has it for Fitzpatrick. Daniel at center dumps it in. McFadden and on the forecheck, trying to create some havoc as it's worked back here now out to the neutral zone. Here's Leckie with Gould. Has Joseph trailing up high. Leckie to the slot. Goes off the skate of Joseph and into the corner. Ward up through center. Through the neutral zone. Lauren Ward trying to find a lane. Now on her backhand. Will cut back and to the point. Arsenault. D for Poirier. Poirier lets a shot go. Blocker safe. Feldham had trouble with it. Rebound was loose and the whistle went early. Stopping the play. Fortunate whistle there for the Surge. As the face-off will go down to the glove hand side after that chance, but an early whistle there for the Surge, helping them out there as they trail by 1 as they look to try to get the comeback here on the Rocket. As the Rocket came back, as here's a chance in front. Fournette with a big save there to keep her team up. Kim, point shot, tipped off the shin pad and up and out of play. As Robertson tried to deflect it, she pointed to her skate, so it must have went off the outside of her skate. She's all smiles down there, so it must not have hurt too bad. Eisner, offensive zone draw. Colpitts will dig in across from her and snap that back. Here's Bootlier. Bootlier gets it out just momentarily, but worked right back here by Robertson. Down low, stopping up. Here's Cormier for Bootlier, who works it up. Savoie has it knocked away from her and sent back in by Rossong. Bootlier picks it up behind the net. She'll wheel it up, find Cormier, who centered, and McCormick picked it up. McCormick's shot set wide past the blocker. Maya McCormick has an assist here on the opening goal of the game as she'll cycle it back down the wall for Rossong, who will shuffle it towards the net. Bootlier took it like a pass and worked up the wall as picked off. McCormick now has it. Sheldon, a little shimmy shake there, trying to work it out of the corner, but Bootlier with a great stick gathers that puck and she'll send it right down the middle of the ice. Will it be on net? No, just wide, and an icing charged to the Rockets. So face off here to the blocker side. As it's chipped back here Trying to work it up and in are the Rocket, but it's turned back over here. Sangster shot. That goes wide, a rebound goes back to the slot, and that shot is steered wide. Gibbs at center, cross ice for Sangster over the blue line, and Gould couldn't get back on side in time. It'll be an offside charged. As here's Daniel spinning it back down for Poirier in the corner. She has some pressure on her. Poirier trying to get away. Back for McFadden where she normally is. Here's a shot from Fitzpatrick and a glove save by Feltham. .8:12 remaining, 2-1 game here. Rocket lead as it's back here for Fitzpatrick. Down the wall, Daniel to the middle, kicking it wide for Poirier, who lets a shot go. Blocker safe, Feltham rebound, picked up by Joseph in the slot, and work back here for Leckie. Leckie will dump it in and give chase for Poirier, as Poirier stops up in the corner by the AUS sign and spinning it up the wall, but it's turned over. Cycled back down here for Leckie. She'll cycle it for Joseph. Down low, that's too far out of her reach. As Fitzpatrick on the half wall now will chip it in. We'll have enough for the icing call as it goes all the way down. For an icing, going to be charged. Fitzpatrick forced to stay on as a result. So noticeable missing player for the Surge is number 17. Their captain there this year is Rachel Hartnell. Suffered an injury earlier on in the tournament. Here's a chance for McFadden alone. McFadden just out of her reaches. She had a player all over her as she barreled down all alone. She just couldn't tuck it up on the backhand. Tran pressured by Daniel, who turns it over. Annabelle Daniel poked away from her. As nice job on the back check there by Annabelle Daniel. As she now will peel off for a change. As heads up, Joseph running into Pollard right off the bench. As that pass turned over, Leckie put it right on the stick of Ward. As Warren Ward will work it down on her backhand. Ward in behind the net. Looking over some options. All around the full zone here as she entered on that side, worked all the way behind the net and found herself back up over on that far side point again where she stepped in and had it worked around her. Here's a chance for the Surge. Back the other way. Vautour feeds to the middle. Leckie has a step, lets a shot go, and a pad save by Fournette. Only the 13th shot Fournette has seen here so far today. Allowed one to beat her, but the other 12 have stayed out from touching that twine in behind her. Ward, defensive zone draw, winning it back here is Gibbs. Is that shot up past Robertson's ears and into the corner. Cycled back for McCormick, where it's taken off of her by the other number 8, Lauren Ward. As Colpitts takes a big hit there from Gibbs, and that's going to be a very delayed call and an icing play there. As the arm didn't go up till 3 or 4 seconds after Plorda went down. Hopefully she's all right. She's up to her feet, and she'll go to the bench. She looked a little shaken up there. An icing charge to the Rocket. As the face-off will come out of the Rocket zone on the icing, but a power play now for them. So a power play for the Poor got to change on the icing. They actually got a full line change on the icing. So I don't know if they could change where it wasn't icing, but they did. Now here's a chance to Rocket. Power play. Gets set up. Daniel lets the shot go. It's high, though. Poirier cycling it back down low. Now back here, Poirier up at the top of the zone. Lets a shot go. Rebound steered away by Rossong. Gould, far side, chipping it to the point, as now it'll be worked out. Into the neutral zone, Poirier for Daniel. She'll cut to the middle. She'll go down and lose control of the puck. As have to regroup in the neutral zone. Here is Ward. Back for Poirier. Cross for Daniel. Down Main Street, lets a shot go. Rebound, pad save by Feltham. Eleanor Feltham with a great job there. A couple pad saves to keep her team trailing by 1. As a successful minute and 45 expiring here. As a little bit of a weird thing there. They both went down. And Poirier, good job on the forecheck. She heads off for the change. They'll send Buffett on now. As it's dropped back, Tran will step up from the defensive point. Boutlier walks, shot, rebound, still loose in front. Feltham grabs the rebound and holds on. .4:30 remaining here in the second period of play. McFadden on the offensive zone draw. Loses it. Tran, and that gets sent down by Buffett right onto the net of net. Fitzpatrick has it in her own zone. She looks for some options. Boutlier cuts across the middle. Now she'll find the option of Rodyer. Goes under her stick all the way down. Icing charged. Once again, the Rocket will have to go back, and that'll happen just as the penalty had expired. So 5-on-5 here in an offensive zone draw for the Surge. Eisner, Vautour, Robertson up front out there for this offensive zone draw. Kim and Tran out there on the defense. Has picked up Boutlier through the neutral zone. Has Rodyer. Nice move to the outside as she was made a 2-on-1. Boutlier shot into the chest and held on to by Feltham. What a sneaky little move there. Looked like she was going to go pass it. As the defenseman stepped up on her, she pulled it back to the outside and created a 2-on-1. What a move there, Lola Boutlier. Once again, showing her display of skill here today, as she has been all weekend. Had a couple goals, I think 3 goals in 3 games coming into this one. So far here in this weekend's tournament. Number 2 having herself a pretty solid one for the Rockets. Arsenault has at the point. She'll walk, just hold it in, take a shot past the blocker of Feltham and wide. Puck cleared back. Going back for it, here's Arsenault. Has some pressure, she'll spin it back up the wall. That's sent back in here by the Surge on a good forecheck. Robertson is going to park herself in front of the net. Held at the line, just onside by Nedelku, who shuffles that in behind the net. Over for Eisner, far side for Robertson in the slot, who couldn't get the one-timer away. Nevaeh Robertson looks to the sky as she knew she had an opportunity in front, as Eisner and Robertson trying to connect there, as Nevaeh Robertson's second in goals behind, I believe, Annabelle Daniel. Or no, Hallie Rose McLean, sorry, who was in first for the goals. But Eisner looking to extend her assist lead on that nice feed there, as she is currently number 1 for the Apple department here. As it's worked up here by Plord over the line. Plord on her backhand, drops the shoulder, lets a shot go on her backhand, and it's covered up by Feltham. Feltham doing her part here. She's seen 25 shots now, as shots 25-14 in favor of the Moncton Rocket. Back to the point. Here's Poirier. She'll walk it in down the middle, try to toe drag, stick with it. Here's Fitzpatrick now towards the net, taken away there by Lecky, who had it poked away from her. Ward on the far side, that'll be sent back in. Here's Gibbs. She'll rim it hard. Fitzpatrick had stepped in. Joseph had snuck out of the zone, and good read there by Fitzpatrick. If not, Joseph was home free. Poirier sticks with it over the blue line. Poirier in on Kim. She goes off the skate. Worked over here for Fitzpatrick. Lets a shot go. Pad save. Feltham steers into the corner. Another shot from a sharp angle and over to the short side here now. Lecky centers for Danica Joseph, who had a big game earlier in the tournament. Did number 9 for the Surge. As McFadden, Daniel and Savoie hop over the ice. McFadden looking for her options. She'll go down low, trying to work it back here. Daniel had it go off of her backhand and out the other way. Lecky trying to get to center. She will and dump it in. So I'm sure she'll peel off for the change there now as an extended defensive shift there. As it almost a turnover in there on the forecheck. Great job was Poirier. As the defenseman stepped up, took away the icing. As here's Tran back in her own zone, spinning away from some pressure. She'll stop up and reverse back here. Poirier try to chip it out, and she does. As that'll force Boutlier back into her own zone to retrieve the puck. Boutlier spinning away from one, centers, picked off by Vautour, and back here comes the Surge. Buffett down the far side. Drops for Vautour as that puck cleared up into the neutral zone. Elaine had snuck off the bench, so that took a cross-ice pass away as it'll be forced to get sent in there by Rossong. Far side, cycled back down low. Here's a chance to toe drag shot. That's blocked by Boutlier. Off the stick of Eisner as Rossong stepping in. Daniel had it and couldn't get it around the player there. Is nice play by Boutlier using the back of her net. That was a solid play. She tried it earlier in the game. The confidence to try it again after the first time not working is pretty impressive, because that time it definitely worked. As they break the puck out. Now here's Daniel. Cut to the middle, knocked off of her stick, and back here comes Eisner. Stretch pass up ahead here for Vautour. Has numbers back the other way. Robertson drives. Drop pass for Eisner. Lost it in her feet. Rodier has it now as Arsenault picks it up through the neutral zone. Offside as the buzzer goes, and that'll do it here for 2 periods of action. After 2, the score still 2-1 in favor of the Moncton Rocket. We'll be back here with all the third period action live on High Button Sports after this short intermission. welcome back inside the Grant Harvey Center as we get set for the third and final period of regulation. 2-1 the lead for the Rocket coming into the third period as they look to win this game and jump up into first place with a big win here today over the first place Lindsay Surge. They are separated by 1 point, although the Selects might have leapfrogged the Surge with a win before this game, as they would move up, as I guess it would be for second place, but I think if the Surge win, they will retain the first place over the Selects, and it'll be Surge, Selects, then Rocket. If the Rocket win, it'll be the Selects, then the Rocket, then the Surge. So those three teams battling it out for first place here in a big game here in this Sunday afternoon matchup here between these two squads. Is a close game as the Rockets ahead by 11 shots on the board. They have 26 to the Surge 15, as the Surge are going to have to give it all they got here to try to stay up ahead of them in the leaderboard. If with a loss, we'll send them back down to third. So from first to third in 1 day after a loss and 2 wins from the other teams, you can see how tight this league is. Great back check there by McCormick to take away the puck from McFadden, as a couple of the Down East Stars players coming out of their dressing room to watch this game before their matchup against the hosting against the Fundy Kraken. That'll be the last game of the Showcase tournament. The Flames are all done. They were the host. They wrapped up their last game earlier against the Selects. Tough loss for them. They got shut out in that game, I think 4-0. Could have been 5. As that play towards the net, puck battled there. Rodyer and Kim battle for it, and a call upcoming here. It looks like it's going to be both, as Rodyer and Kim are both going to sit for a roughing call. So the coach is going to have to try to figure something out here. As Kim to the box, Rodyer to the box. They'll send out a whole new line up front and 2 new deep pairings. So a quick line change here for both teams here, maybe trying to match up with each other here in this one, as the Surge got to kill off this one here, so they don't want to go down by 2 as they trail by 1 now here, in an opportunity. Or sorry, no, it's 5-on-5. I thought the penalty was just 1. My apologies. So 5-on-5 as Fitzpatrick turns it over outside the blue line. Picking it up, here's Tran on her backhand. Centers, and it goes over to the far side corner. So it was an offensive draw opportunity to try to gain the lead, but the Surge here in desperation of a goal. Still have 17 minutes left, but play a little bit more confidently when you're tied, maybe trying to, extend and take the lead as opposed to trying to catch up. You don't want to make a mistake that could cost you, but at the same time, you're trying to press for the goal. So you got to be smart with your pinches as a defenseman and good angles as a forward. Can't get beat. As offside will be the call. Buffett made a move at the blue line, and stepping in ahead of the play was Gabrielle London. Face off in front of the Rocket bench. Eisner in there on the draw. She'll face off, it looks like, from where I can see, is McFadden, who snapped that back. Here's a turnover. Buffett in tight. Shot sent wide past the blocker side. As Buffett with a great opportunity there, couldn't find the back of the net. Gabrielle Buffett with a great job there, trying to get a goal for her squad, created the turnover, and then almost had a goal. As the Surge looking to get things worked back in here and get a forecheck set up to maintain some zone time in the Rocket zone. A good job by the Rockets here so far as they work it out through the neutral zone. That's left here for Daniel. Daniel, toe drag as it goes under her stick on the toe drag. She tried to release it. Almost like a Connor Bedard type toe drag release. It moves about 3 feet from one side to the other when she does, but the toe just the heel elevated too much on the toe drag and the puck slid under her stick. Heads up, big hit there, and it's going to be a call charge to Fitzpatrick as Vautour heads off. She's all right, as here's a chance and a shot by Poirier high off the glass, and Fournette holds on for a whistle as Fitzpatrick is going to go to the box. 2 for body contact as Kim and Rodier leave the penalty box, though Rockets' penalty box door will stay open as Fitzpatrick will enter for a 2-minute power play for the Surge. So a big opportunity here for them is can't get much bigger than this as the Surge coming in with a 27% power play rating. They are desperate here for a goal, trying to tie it up to remain in first place. Colpitts and Elaine out there to start this one as Colpitts gets tossed. Elaine will be forced. No, Elaine can't take it. She was late, so it'll be a defenseman. I remember having to take a draw like this. It was a center draw, and we had just scored a shorthanded goal, and the guy who scored the shorthanded goal was tired, so he wanted to change, but the coach was like, no, stay, and he was like, no, I can't. So we were late getting guys on. I took the draw at center. I just whacked it down. As here's a chance off the side of the net. Buffett with a great opportunity there in tight. Surge looking to set things up, but Elaine coming up with it. She'll dump it all the way down and kill off some time here as the first 25 seconds of the power play has ticked off. The clock up there on each end as it's worked up here through the neutral zone by Leckie. Has Joseph and Buffett with her. She'll kick it wide. Here's McCormick cutting to the middle. Maya McCormick dropping it off. Rossong shot sent wide past the blocker. McCormick down low behind the goal line, protecting the puck. Back to the point. Rossong walks to the middle. Back over here for McCormick, who walks in, lets a shot go into the chest of Fournette for a whistle. .15:01 remaining in the game, at least in regulation, at least. This 2-1 game here is a Surge on the power play. Eisner takes a shot, and it bounced just wide as it deflected. Here's Eisner out of the corner. Rebound in front. She shuffled it just past the blocker and wide. Robertson for Gould let a shot go, and standing tall was Fournette. Shots now 19-27 in favor of the Rocket. A couple chances for the Surge here on the power play. 45 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Arsenault will get pulled off. Cormier will step out for the defensive role, the captain. And try to kill off as much time as she can. Robertson walks in, lets a shot go in. It's blocked by Cormier. Down low, Poirier. Back to the point. Eisner down for Poirier. She tries to drive. Poirier back to the point. Rossong lets a shot go. Tipped off the stick of the defenseman in front and over the net. Gould in behind the net, pressured by Poirier. They both go down. Gould sticks with it, finds Poirier. Poirier for the Surge, that is here's a chance. Poirier shot, rebound, loose. Fournette scrambles, trying to center, and both of the defensemen. That's Thea McFadden helping out her defender there. Is Gould off the skate. That'll do it for the power play. Back to 5-on-5. Rimming that is Eisner. Got to be careful here. They have 4 forwards out on the ice. Zach goes across here for Robertson. Trying to get a shot away. Good job by Thea McFadden to take that puck as she'll reverse it here for Poirier. As they get Gibbs over now. 2 defense back out for the Surge. McFadden goes one-on-one. Gibbs forcing her to dump the puck into the corner as she retrieves and cuts up through the middle of the ice. Here's Gibbs over the blue line in her own zone. Gets to center, trying to dump it in. She goes down from the ground, plays it in down low. She'll have to retreat back to the point as that's Holly Gibbs. She'll back off here as Daniel leaves it for Rodier, who's out of the box after serving the coincidental Roughing calls as Leckie. Back for Gibbs. Gibbs up the wall, out of the reach of Sangster, all the way down. Icing call. Going against the Surge. Face-off going to go back down into the zone as you see a couple more players over on the wall there on the far side of the ice where Gibbs is most of the Eastern Auto Part stars are down there, and a couple of the Fundy Kraken tuning into this game. So that's work D to D. Looking for an option. Worked up here for London. Gabriel London chipping it up all the way down for Poirier just inside of her zone. She'll backhand it over for Fitzpatrick out of the box after serving the body checking call. As it's worked up here, Savoie leaves it for Colpitz. Colpitz back door, couldn't go as that went off the stick. Here's Plourde down low. Tran, good stick there to knock it away. Tran cuts to the middle, looking for an option. She'll chip it up ahead. Knocked down by London. She'll try to cut over the blue line, making a couple moves there, but Poirier pressured her into losing the puck. Here's Leckie in on the forecheck. Doing a great job there, creating havoc down low as Poirier gets taken down. She'll work it from her backside around as it's worked up here for Poirier through the neutral zone. She'll chip it up ahead. Nedelku will try to get in her way as it's fed up here for Joseph. Danica Joseph over the blue line. She'll drop the shoulder and try to drive it down in below the goal line where she's pinched off as Ward gathers the puck. Up here is trying to chip it out. That time was Cormier. Don't get confused though. The forward wearing number 19, that's Melody Cormier. No icing called there as Cormier's got the step as it gets chipped back to the point. Arsenault down low for Melody Cormier. Over for Ward. Lauren Ward cycling it back down as it's picked off and worked D to D. Here's Nedelku keeping things moving up the wall. Buffett gets stepped in down on as she tries to work it out. Can't do so. Here's Elaine. Over top of the zone, Elaine on her backhand, spins around at the ringette line. She'll work it over to the short side here as that was mishandled, and back the other way, here come the Surge. A little chip play up ahead, trying to spring Vautour, who had the opening goal of the game. Vautour pressured there by Fitzpatrick. Vautour, who took the hit from Fitzpatrick that drew the penalty. Back out there against each other here this shift. Kim has some pressure, worked for Rossong. Rossong back for Kim. Kim looking middle of the ice. That goes over to the far side, though, and working it over the line. Vautour gets tripped up, and the Rocket work it back out here. 2-on-1. Richard has McFadden. Richard tried to center, went off a skate. Rossong back to the point. Block shot here now. Back, here's Vautour. Vautour has a little bit of a step. Bootler, great job to get back and cut down the angle to force the shot. There on the back check, Lola Bootler. Once again, doing a great job there. She'll head off for a change now as Fitzpatrick gathers the puck behind the net. As Fournette left that there for her. Colpitz, as Poirier's got to wait. She'll chip and chase as she had to wait for her forward to get back on side. As now the Surge get the last one out there on the forward side of things. That was Gould, who will hop over the boards and get back into the action. She has it now on the far side. She'll chip it up. Poirier will collect it, though, just inside of her zone. Backhand pass up for Annabelle Daniels. Daniel through the middle of the ice, now down the far side wall. She'll work it in. Or sorry, that's Lily Plourde. Plourde battles for it in her feet. It got worked up, though, and cycled back down and back up the wall. Here's Nedelku, the defenseman, chipping it up and not out, though, is Poirier with a great stick to hold the line. Poirier give and go, trying to get it back. Colpitz and Rodger had an opportunity, but that was gloved down and held on to by Feltham. Haven't had to say her name much here in this third period as the Surge, in desperation of the tying goal, has been putting on a decent amount of pressure in the Rocket zone, but have not been rewarded yet for it. Rocket trying to protect the 1-goal lead, but still want to extend it as they can't force anything, but they also can't take any high chance risks, so they got to play a little bit more on the defensive side of the puck, but still trying to be offensive at the same time, as this is a highly offensive skilled team. As they come into the game, they have 124 goals for and only 51 against. The Surge have 146 goals for and only 35 against. So these two teams with a great differential between goals for and against, but a highly offensive team here for both squads. As the Surge trail by 1, they look to get back here and tie it up. Inside 10 minutes now in the final frame. Rossong shot blocked on the way to the net by Elaine. Shot, rebound in front, and that couldn't get elevated, and it's poked away. Bodies go flying. That was Buffett in front of the net. Bootlear's pass for Rodier got tipped, no icing on the play. Robertson, a little bit of a handcuffed pass there off the wall. Worked into the neutral zone. Fitzpatrick chipping that puck in off the stick, and it goes all the way down. Gibbs, pressured by Ward. Spun back up the wall for Joseph. Fitzpatrick stepped in, and now got to get back. Here's Poirier. Great job there using her body to protect the puck as Robertson was barreling down on her. Here's Poirier down the wall. Poirier looking for an option. Shot right into the chest of Feltham and holds on for the whistle. Very smooth skating defenseman is the captain in Audrey Poirier. She's actually ranked second in assist amongst defensemen here so far in this year. Is that back to the point? Walk, shot, glove save by Feltham. Shots 30-23, still in favor of the Rocket. They lead by 1. An offensive zone draw for them here as McFadden, Daniel, and Cormier out there. Puck, 1, back, Gibbs works it D to D. Now up the wall. Poirier has it lost in her feet. She'll collect. She's pressured by Cormier. Sticks with it though. Here's Poirier over the line. Don't get her confused with the other Poirier. For the others, that's Lacey Poirier. Not Audrey for the Rockets. So 2 Poiriers in the game, 2 Cormiers in the game. Obviously the Poiriers obviously on different teams. The Cormiers on the same team. So Audrey Poirier steps over the bench as Lacey Cormier for the Surge will head off. Colpitts, offensive zone draw, wins it to the wall. Stepping in, letting the shot go, and it's blocked. Another chance, another shot, and it's pad save. Rebound loose in front, and Feltham holds on to the whistle. Or hold on to the puck for a whistle. Colpitts, once again, offensive zone draw. This time she loses it as Nedelku plays it over for London, who had the block shot earlier. That tipped on and a pad save by Feltham. Over to the short side here. Nedelku chipping it up and into the neutral zone. Rodier, D to D across the Tommy sign. Picked up. Here's Elaine over the blue line. Zoe Elaine just losing the handle as she caught an edge a little bit and couldn't keep her feet moving. Great job by Gould supporting the puck there. She'll chip it up ahead, just out of the reach though. Into the neutral zone as Buffett will apply a little bit of light pressure. Nice pass here. Colpitts over the line. Good job to stay on side was Rodier and Elaine, who has the puck now on the far side wall. As almost both teams who play after this are out watching the game. That game was supposed to start 2 minutes ago. A little bit of a delay here as it's been all weekend. So if you're tuning in for the game after, expect it to be a little bit behind. Still 5 minutes here remaining in the third and final period of this one. So that'll be worked up here. So the Stars and the Kraken will finish off this showcase after this game, as it's going to be the Down East Auto Parts Stars and the Fundy Kraken to wrap up the showcase here in the Grant Harvey Center in Fredericton, New Brunswick. My home rink for 4 years during junior hockey. Was a great time, great experience here. Love this town as 2 players collide for the Surge. Had an opportunity for the Rocket to try to get to the net, as the Stars now will head into their dressing room to get ready for the game. Robertson down the wall. Got to be careful because of the turnbuckle here in the Grand Harvey, but a great defensive play there by Plord as it's picked up here in the neutral zone, dumped in, bouncing puck into the feet of Arsenault, worked up here for Cormier. Great job by Melody Cormier to control that with her feet to her stick. Ward trying to chip it in, can't do so, back to the way, one-on-one. Here's Eisner, pressured by Daniel. Eisner, nice job to spin away from one centers, and that'll be picked off here by Arsenault, who will rim it up the wall. Cormier has it now on the half wall. Cormier for Poirier, back here for Cormier, who centers off the skate of Daniel, turned over. Here's a chance, McCormick lost it. Backhand chance though, that went wide past the glove hand side. As that spun around to the far side. Poirier in there on the forecheck. That's Lacey Poirier out there against Audrey Poirier, who has the puck now. Poirier looking over her options. Smart play, just put it off the wall softly for Cormier to skate onto and dump it in. No icing. Feltham touched that puck and left it there for Gibbs. Over to the far side, here's Joseph up the wall for McCormick, who chips it out into the neutral zone. Here's Cormier. Gets blue, dumps it in, bouncing puck, steered into the corner by Feltham. McFadden in there. Daniels, good hand-eye coordination by her. Toe drag shot pad save right off the toe. As that had some eyes as she pulled it around the defenseman and let that quick snapshot off that she possesses. As that centering pass is picked off, here's a lane for Daniel. Trying to find McFadden, who got a stick on it but couldn't control. As that puck now to the far side, and Joseph trying to get her feet going near the end of a shift. She looks like she's just out of gas, and that'll be turned over. Here's McFadden just inside the blue line, chipping it up. Tran gathers as Tran gonna skate it up herself. Good job there, pressured by Rodier. Tran takes a tumble there, still with the puck though are the Surge. Here's Lecky spinning, leaving for Tran, who tries to cut to the middle, turned over, but gathered back up. Here's Tran at the point. Let's a shot go, that goes wide. Here's Elaine on the half wall, trying to work it up. Took a little bit of a slash there maybe. As that puck held in by Rossing. She'll plant her feet wide and establish a good foundation to keep the puck in as it goes down low for Poirier. Backhand feed goes out of the zone and all the way back. Tran will have to go into her zone by the face-off dot. We'll work D to D on the hinge there, and a nice pass up to the far side for Gould. Gould, it bounced over her stick. Bootlier, great job there, taking away the angle. She gets tripped up, and a delayed call upcoming here, as it looks like it's going to be Gould, who was forechecking Bootlier, got the stick in the feet, and a power play coming up here. With 2:19 remaining, the Rockets head to a power play. A tough break for the Surge. Has 2:19 remaining on the clock. 2-minute power play. They'll only have 19 seconds of 5-on-5. And the Rocket will call a timeout. Or I guess they won't. The ref said, no, you're not allowed. I didn't know you couldn't not call a timeout at any point, so that's a new rule for me. Poirier standing straight up. They'll elect to kill off as much time. They're feeding around the outside. Here's Annabelle Daniel on the far side. She'll stand there and just kill the clock off as much as she can. Daniel starting to walk in as they'll try to shrink the box down here a little bit. They're happy to keep it around the outside and kill off as much time as she can as 30 seconds has gone and expired. The three of them just smartly keeping the puck to the outside as Poirier, as the Surge are going to have to pressure here as they'll just kill off the whole 2 minutes if they don't. Down low, Richard off the helmet of Feltham. They got to try to send a stretching player here out of the zone if they can get possession. Now the Rockets looking to get things moving here towards the net, and a big save there by Feltham. Rebound cleared away by Kim, who clears it down to the point. Great hand-eye there by Annabelle Daniel, who howls it now on the far side point. That's worked out here for Poirier. Back for Daniel. Down low, Richard. Back for Daniel. Down low, Richard. They got a pressure here. 45 seconds on the clock remaining on the power play, and only a minute remaining here on the game clock. Good stick there by Kim. Richard battling with Kim on the far side. She gets taken down. No call on the play. Kim chips it all the way down They got to apply some pressure here and see if they can get something going in the offensive zone and try to make it 5-on-5. Feltham instructed to watch the bench as they look to get possession. Alain up the middle. She'll go one-on-one against Tran. Down the far side, Zoe Alain. Drop pass to the point. Boutlier, who drew the penalty, will work it here for McFadden. Half a minute remaining in the game. McFadden on the half wall, pressured. Down low, here's Colpitts. Tran takes it away from her. Here's Tran. Got to try to skate it up as it's turned over. That'll do it for the power play. 17 seconds here remaining in this one. Clock clicking down. Boutlier has it. Pressured. Turned over. Gould trying to work it out front. Boutlier, puck in the skates. Cleared back. Here's a chance. Shot high over the net. 3 seconds remaining. In front. They shot. And a big save there at the buzzer by Claire Fournette to keep her team up by 1. And what a game here between the JW Lindsay Surge and the Moncton Rocket, as these two teams wrap up their tournament with an absolute barn burner here, a 2-1 finish. The Rocket victorious over the first place Surge. They'll leapfrog them into second place. The Surge will drop into third as the Selects, with a win earlier, will hop up into first place. As for me, that's all here for this weekend in Fredericton. Be sure to stay tuned to High Button Sports as the Stars and the Kraken coming up here after the Zamboni flood. But that's all for me. Thank you for tuning in. Logan Crothers with High Button Sports. Theo Iatru on the camera. Have a good one, folks, and stay warm.